Atlantis versus Lemuria, a hidden history of a war of more than 10,000 years ago. Strange indications began to arise in the sky, a crimson sun and a black path intersected. The conflict between Lemuria and Atlantis, two sophisticated ancient civilizations, the Anunnaki manipulated the Atlanteans. Let's remember that we have desertification of the area of where Atlanteans perhaps used to live. The Atlas Mountains, strange, maybe it's not a coincidence that they have that same name. That's where we had the 6.8 earthquake just a few days ago. And of course India, the areas of Mohenjo-Daro, where we have, just like in the Sahara Desert, evidence of nuclear blasts. Strange indications began to rise in the sky, crimson sun and black path intersected. The conflict between Lemuria and Atlantis, two sophisticated ancient civilizations, the Anunnaki manipulated the Atlanteans. The lost continents of Lemuria and Atlantis drowned due to a nuclear war instigated by the Anunnaki, who persuaded the Atlanteans to reign, according to this buried account from more than 10,000 years ago, which appears in writings like the Chronicles of Akakor. This caused a worldwide disaster, yet there were survivors among the Lemurians and Atlanteans. Until 10,000 years ago, both continents could be found on the ocean's surface. Lemuria would be in the Pacific Ocean, whereas Atlantis would be in the Atlantic. Atlantis and Lemuria's secret history. In the Chronicles of Akakor, Carl Brugger argues that both continents were home to two races of gods, quote unquote, two civilizations more sophisticated than the current one. They clashed, resulting in a battle involving planes and obsolete nuclear weapons. Both continents eventually collapsed as a result of this disastrous battle. Twilight blanketed the Earth's surface, says Akakor in his book. The sun was still shining, but a gloomy, huge, and forceful mist obscured the view. Unusual indications appeared in the sky. A crimson sun and a black path intersected. The four corners of the earth were red, black, and white. The two deity species began to argue. They sought to suck energy from each other while burning the planet with sun heat. Rivers have altered, as have the height of mountains and the sun's brightness. There have been floods that have inundated continents. Lemuria is mentioned in several obscure Hindu tablets discovered by James Churchward in 1868. He and the temple's high priest deduced that the tablets talked of the vanished land of Mu, where the Nakalis or Holy Brothers dwelt. Mu basically is a part of China, Indonesia, Japan, Kamchatka, Australia. That's the land of Mu. Now, The Visitors by J.J. Bennett is a novel about the extraterrestrial abduction of physicist Daniel W. Fry, July 4th, 1958. The aliens told him on the spacecraft that their ancestors lived in Mu and that there was another advanced civilization there in Atlantis. The Atlanteans learned to utilize atomic energy more skillfully than you do now, he says. He also indicated an impending firearms calamity. Atlanteans versus Lemurians, alternate history, the nuclear disaster. American psychic Edgar Cayce got telepathic transmissions from Cassiopeia's aliens, and according to their information, the Atlanteans have existed from ancient times. They developed space travel and even established outposts on other planets, including Mars. They also possessed a secret device for collecting energy from the universe via massive crystals. Various sources claim that the Atlanteans were intelligent and benevolent beings who fell into evil. In contrast, others argue that they came from another solar system and were genetically inclined to be cold and harsh. According to the first story, they lived in peace and harmony in Atlantis from 210,000 BC. However, the reptilian Anunnaki invaders, notably the Atlantean high priest, began to impact them negatively. The fight with Lemuria began with these corrupted Atlanteans calling themselves sons of Belial. These sons of Belial began arguing with Lemurians over how to dominate the earth some 25,000 years ago. Atlantis desired to conquer all other tribes and civilizations on the planet. Lemurians wanted other peoples to evolve naturally. Thus, they told them to leave them alone. This action prompted the Atlantean sons of Belial to declare war on Lemuria, culminating in a nuclear bombing plot. Earth changes and the rebirth of civilizations. This resulted in a calamity with subsurface gas fields exploding. Over 60 million Lemurians died in the end. The survivors sought sanctuary in Agartha before attacking Atlantis. However, the sinking of that vanished continent was caused by a sequence of natural calamities. The Earth became unstable due to the Atlanteans' excessive nuclear blasts. As a result, the Earth's axis shifted, and the poles began to shift. Many Atlanteans fled to Agartha and other places throughout the Earth. Stone circles like Stonehenge, dolmens, and geoglyphs are thought to be Atlantean works because they used the technology of sonic levitation to elevate huge stones. In addition, in caves around the world, there are symbols of Atlantis: the spirals, the crescent, and the serpent. Then, as millennia passed and the Earth began to stabilize, both civilizations resurfaced, starting with those we know today as Sumer, India, China, Egypt. Later, the Anunnaki reptilians would return, and our history would begin as we know it. Reptilians secretly gained control of the Earth. This is a different account that challenges traditional history, yet it makes sense given that we know about Atlantis, Lemuria, and even the mythology of the Anunnaki, as well as the geological change on Earth. Although it's a factual narrative, the elite and secret groups keep it hidden. We know about the story of Atlantis from ancient Greek writers, actually also by the Emerald Tablets written by Thoth the Atlantean, and you'll find a playlist. I have read that for you. It's on my playlist on Emerald Tablets, Thoth the Atlantean, and who was an Atlantean, of course, and he talks about their advanced technology. They even had interdimensional travel, and eventually Atlantis sank. And this is on News Tangale 24, Collective Spark. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.